Dear friends, dear viewers, welcome to Veggie Veda with me, Isabella Mosa. Veggie Veda is all about vegetarian cooking, simple vegetarian cooking. And whenever we speak about vegetarian cooking, the first cuisine or style of cooking that comes to mind is Indian cooking. And in the Indian kitchen, we use lots of spices, and it is good to know a little bit about these spices before we start. And today I'm going to tell you about these spices. And the first one, which I'm going to begin with, is turmeric. Now, turmeric is called haldi in Hindi, and it's one of the most widely used spices in Indian cooking. It is immunity boosting, and it also acts as an antibiotic. And it's normally used in powdered form, but you also get it whole as it looks like ginger, something similar to ginger. The second spice is cumin, which is called zira in Hindi. And here you can see, or if it's not very clear, I have here whole grains of cumin, which is sometimes used in tempering, in Indian cooking. Tempering is called Tadka, or some people also called it chonka in Hindi. And here again I have cumin in powdered form, which is normally put directly into the dish when it is being cooked. It gives a nice flavor to your food. And here I have coriander. This is called dhania in Hindi. And this here is in powdered form, but you again get coriander also as whole grains, which also is used in quite a few dishes, especially in north and in western part of India. The next spice is very famous. That is chili. And I have chili flakes here, but you can use chili as chili powder, or also whole red chilies, and of course the fresh green chilies, but it depends again if you can buy them where you live. The next spice here is fenugreek, which is called methi in Hindi, or kasuri methi. I have it here in powdered form, and it gives a nice flavor as well as an aroma to your cooking. Then we have here ginger, which is called adrak in Hindi, and here I have it in powdered form, but you can also get dried ginger, whole dried ginger, which is then called sont. And of course you have the possibility to use fresh ginger as well, which is then cut up in small pieces, and again it can be put in while tempering or doing the tadka, or you can also put it directly into the cooking pot where you're cooking your Indian dish. The next one, these are called nigella seeds, which is called kalonji in Hindi, and these are small black seeds. They're normally used for making breads, the naans or kulchas in India, and it really gives a very wonderful flavor to your Indian breads. The next spice which I have is mustard. These are mustard seeds, small black seeds. They are also, you can also get light colored mustard seeds, and mustard seeds are called either rai or sarson in Hindi, or in Punjabi we can call it sarson. And they are also used quite often while preparing the tadka or the tempering mixture for pickles. So there you use mustard seeds, and they pop a lot. So when you put mustard seeds in hot oil, you should always be careful that you immediately, once they start popping, close. You should put a lid on the pot, otherwise you'll have mustard seeds all over your kitchen. But they taste really nice. The next spice which I have here is fennel, which is called saunf in Hindi. And if those of you who are even acquainted little bit with Indian cooking or Indian culture, you know that saunf is something which we eat after having a meal. First of all, it freshens up your mouth. And secondly, it's very good for digestion. There is also saunf water, saunf ka pani, which people have been drinking or was given to babies if they had maybe some indigestion or some stomach problems. The next one I have here is it's called caraway seeds or carom seeds, or with ajwain in Hindi. And these are also small seeds, very small, almost powdered, not almost powdered, but they are very, very small. And they are also used quite a lot in North India, in Northwestern, also in the central part of India. Then I have here garam masala. I think now garam masala has gained worldwide popularity. People all over the world now know what garam masala is, at least the ones who like to do Indian cooking. And it's a combination of a few spices which you then roast in a pan. You dry roast the spices, and then you grind them, and then you make the garam masala with it. I sometimes buy it and sometimes I make it myself, depending on how much time I have. Now what I have here, that is star anise, which is called chakra phool in Hindi. And this is a spice which gives a nice flavor to your rice, for example, or even curries. And especially in rice, if you leave it in there, it really looks nice and pretty. Star anise. Then the next spice which I have is clove or long, which is called in Hindi. And well, I think it's used quite often while making rice dishes. This is also used in some Arab rice dishes, and it's really very, very nice. Now I have here paprika. This is Hungarian paprika, which I use for giving my Indian dishes a nice color. But you can use the Kashmiri red chili powder. I haven't been able to get good Kashmiri red chili powder here, so I use paprika. And of course paprika you can also have which is very mild, or which is also a little bit stronger in taste. And now we have come to the end of the list of spices on my carousel, And now I'm going to show you my favorite spice, and this is what it is: saffron. Now I use saffron a lot in my cooking, especially in some Indian sweet dishes. For example, the Indian rice pudding, which is called kheer. And as you can see, my packet of saffron is really small because this is the world's most expensive spice. But still, saffron is something without which I can't do. So whenever you are using saffron, first of all, you have to make sure that it's pure, and you have to you should take maybe a tablespoon of warm milk and dissolve 2 or 3 strands of saffron in it. Or another way to use saffron is you take a tablespoon of ghee, which is clarified butter, which is used a lot in Indian cooking, and you take in warm ghee, 1 tablespoon, and again you put 2 or 3 strands of saffron in it, and you will see you will get the most wonderful color. Okay, so these are some of the spices in the Indian kitchen. And obviously, if you are just starting with cooking, with Indian cooking, vegetarian cooking, you won't be required to buy all of these at once. It's only when you start cooking and you experiment and you try that you will then buy all of them. And one thing more which I'm going to show you today is how to make paneer. Now, many of you, I guess, have used tofu in your cooking, vegetarian cooking. But there are lots and lots of people who don't like the taste and the smell of tofu. So, many people here where I live, I have taught them how to make paneer because it's used a lot in vegetarian cooking in India. And I think also it's very easy to make at home. All you need is milk and some curd and maybe a colander or a sieve where you need a cloth, and that's it. So friends, now don't go away. Stay tuned in and let's learn how to make paneer.